Dear learners, I am Christina Georgy, your academic counselor. So today we will discuss vocabulary development. So this particular topic falls under Unit 2 of Block 3 of your course code titled BEGAE-182 English Communication Skills. So in this particular section, we learn to differentiate between active and passive vocabulary. We'll also distinguish content and function words. Very often you get questions regarding homonyms, homophones, homographs, etc. for your TEE. So all these become part of some difficulties in learning English vocabulary. We'll spend some time to analyze in detail all these different aspects. We'll also study about prefixes and suffixes. I'm very sure that you have an idea regarding this. Nevertheless, it would be of great importance to be having a clear-cut idea regarding this. We'll also conclude with the importance of dictionary, the use of dictionary, and also how to expand your vocabulary. Dear learners, keep in mind, rather than learning this for the TEE perspective, all these things could improve your vocabulary. There will be strategies that we'll be learning in order to effectively improve your vocabulary. Having a good vocabulary would certainly benefit you in multifaceted ways. For example, even if you are writing your TEE, if there are students of literature, you will be asked to write your own answers or your own inputs are invited, right? So there, if you keep on using the same words, your answer won't make a difference. It won't be a unique answer. On using a good display of a wide variety of vocabulary, then that would be of a great merit to you. So there are also practical benefits of learning this particular unit. So we'll start off with an introduction to vocabulary. Let me ask you, what do you mean by vocabulary? You can text me your idea on vocabulary. Yeah, it is the collection of words that we know. Yes, in Malayalam it is called Pada Sambal. Yeah, every single person will have some words that this person will use quite frequently. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever self-analyzed whether I use this particular word so very often? So it's high time for you to have such self-realizations, because use of its synonyms or some other words, because especially in written speech, if you keep on using the same words, that won't give much identity or beauty to what you write. So those words that we keep on using frequently are part of our active vocabulary. So now comes the question, do you know the difference between active and passive vocabulary? I already partly answered for you. The words that we use appropriately when you say or write something, such words are known as part of our active vocabulary. That is, there are words of which we know the clear meaning, right? Yes. At the same time, there are some words that we might have heard of, but we are not very sure of its meaning, right? So such words form part of our passive vocabulary. So if you look at page number 24 of your course book, you can see that the words that you can use appropriately when you say or write something form what is known as your active vocabulary, whereas those words that you have an idea of or can guess the meaning of can form part of your passive vocabulary. Did you understand the difference? Clear, right? It's very easy. So let me ask you an intellectual question. Which one do you think is limited? Active vocabulary or passive vocabulary? Which will be more limited in number? Yes, correct. Active vocabulary, that is the words of which we know the correct meaning, and those words that we frequently use will be minimal in number. Alright, Yes, our active vocabulary is more limited or smaller than our passive vocabulary. Alright, that's all regarding active and passive vocabulary. Let's now move on to content words and function words. So, I'll explain in simple terms. Those words that are nouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives. Nouns, verbs, adverbs or adjectives. These four categories of words form the content words, whereas all other categories, may that be auxiliary verbs, prepositions, conjunctions, determiners, etc., all of them form the function words. For example, you may have a look at the example given in your textbook on page number 24. I saw a beautiful bird sitting on a branch of a gulmohar tree. So there, saw is a verb, beautiful is an adjective, bird is a noun, sitting is a verb, then branch a noun, gulmohar tree. So you can see that all the content words are underlined. So all these are the content words. On the other hand, the words which are not underlined are function words. So these words are more frequently used and carry some grammatical meaning. That is, the function words carry some grammatical meanings. So these are also known as structure words. Alright, so they include auxiliary verbs, determiners, prepositions, conjunctions, etc. So that's all regarding content words and function words. So this has got many practical usages as well. Suppose you are writing a heading. If you are writing a paper, I mean a thesis paper or something. If you want to write the heading, you'll have to capitalize the content words. Alright, very often we don't capitalize the function words. The next section, that is some difficulties in learning English vocabulary. Learners of English as second language. What do you mean by learners of English as second language? So everybody gathered here will have a mother tongue, right? That is our very first language. It could be Hindi for some people, it could be Malayalam for some people, etc. So that is your first language, your mother tongue. So now comes another language that you acquire over the period of time, right? Your second language, that is the next language that you study after your mother tongue. That will be the second language. As per the condition in our society, mostly the second language of everybody present here would probably be English. So all of you are learners of English as second language, and we may find a few stumbling blocks in mastering this language. Of course, none of you present here are native speakers of English. Therefore, you'll have some difficulties in understanding the meanings of some words. For example, if you listen to this word club, for example, Rupika will be thinking of the card that we play. Alright, playing cards, there is a club there, right? And maybe Bismi will be thinking about a club where a disco party might be happening. Or somebody like Ansia might be thinking of the club that Beam holds. Understood? So there can be multiple meanings for one particular word. So do you know a word, a term that denotes one word with many meanings? You heard of homonyms? Yes, homonyms are words which have the same spelling and pronunciation but different meanings in different contexts. As I said, the word club may represent an association of people with common interest. This very term club can also be one of the 4 cards in the sort of playing cards, and this very club can also refer to a heavy stick with a thick end. Okay, very often it is described as the weapon of beam. on page number 27, you can see she went to her room and lay down on the bed. The second sentence, my husband is busy preparing a bed for the pansies. The third one, heat the curry thoroughly and serve it on a bed of rice. See the difference there. As per the context, the same word is being changed, right? Yes. Remember, club also means to combine. Very often we club many elements, right? So there comes the meaning of combination as well. Yes. Alright, let's move on to the next aspect. That is, listen to me carefully. If I pronounce great, it could mean G-R-E-A-T, great. That is, he is a great person. And the other meaning and the other word could be G-R-A-T-E. While cooking, we grate carrots, right? Yes. Do you understand the difference? Similarly, you have flour. F-L-O-U-R would refer to some, we say podi in Malayalam, some kind of a powder, alright? Whereas the other F-L-O-W-E-R would refer to a kind of flora, right? It could be hibiscus or jasmine or any other flower for that matter. So here we see words with same sound but different form and meanings. So such words are called homophones. Remember, homo means same and phone means sound. So homophones have same sound, but remember they have different form and meanings. Is that clear? Moving on to the next category. So if you look at page number 28, you can see a few examples. The secretary, the director secretary took down the minutes. Even minute details are taken care of by a diligent organizer. So if you look at the first two sentences, the first one, the secretary took down the minutes. Here I pronounced it as of minutes. Alright, so that refers to a summary of what will happen in that particular meaning. Okay, at the same time, a word with the same spelling is pronounced as minute, means even the small details. Alright, so there are words with same form but different sound and meaning. Here the spelling is same, but the way of pronunciation is different and even the meaning is different. So what do we call such words? We call such words homographs. Alright, homo means same and graph means writing. That is, same spelling or same writing is what it means. So shall we move on to the next one? Yes, good. Now comes idiomatic expressions. So very often idioms are part of English language. When I say she is a bit under weather today, what does that mean? It means she is slightly sick today. That doesn't mean that she is standing under the weather as such. So there we look for the non-literal meaning. In case of idioms, we focus on the non-literal meaning. Alright, do you know any examples for idioms? Apple of one's eye. We say he or she is the apple of her or his mother's eye. Golden heart. We might say this person has a golden heart. He is so kind. Cloud nine. That shows ecstasy or happiness. It is not denoting the ninth cloud up there. Yes, green thumb. I'm very glad that you people are answering. So all these are examples of idioms. For your better understanding, I've shared one video of idioms. You may please refer if interested. There you can see numerous examples for idiomatic expressions. The next in line is formal or informal expressions. See, the way you speak to your senior colleague, will that be the same way you speak to your elder sister? I suppose not, because as per or depending on the relationship that we share with people, even the language that we use might change. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, true. We make use of a very formal way of communication with our superiors or anybody we respect or we are supposed to obey, whereas we make use of an informal communication with our friends or spouses or family members for that matter. Similarly, there are words that we use in formal context and also in informal context. They have mentioned words like dude, which we actually make use of in informal context. You can read about that. Now comes hyponyms. Hyponyms are basically word categories. I've given you a column full of examples. So for clothes, the hyponyms would be shirt, trousers, frock, kurta, etc. If it is the case of tree, it could be any tree. May that be apple tree, acacia, banyan tree, coconut tree, etc. If it is regarding colors, the hyponyms would be blue, red, white, crimson, etc. Anything. Now comes an important aspect, collocation. Very often people, especially the students, are not aware of collocation. Collocation simply refers to word partnerships. What do you mean by word partnerships? Very often when we use one term, another term is also knowingly or unknowingly used along with that. For example, in your coursework it is given bright color, favorite color. There we see a combination of two adjectives. They collocate and hence it forms a collocation. At times it could be a preposition, at times it could be an adjective that is along with that. Alright, so that can happen in case of. Yes. Let's now focus our attention towards something that we used to learn while we were kids. Remember antonyms and synonyms? You must be having an idea regarding antonyms and synonyms. Which one refer to opposites? Is that synonym or antonym? Yes, correct. Haslia. Yes, everybody has answered correctly. Just remember antonyms into, anti, opposite. Alright. Antonyms are opposites, whereas synonyms are similar meanings. So the term antonym is used to refer to words which have an opposite meaning. But there are pairs of words which contrast in terms of a scale. For example, hot, cold, tall, short, easy, difficult, etc. These opposites are gradable in nature. Alright, just keep that in mind. Yes, coming to synonyms, these are words with similar meaning. For example, angry. The synonyms could be annoyed, upset, irritated, etc. Just remember that no other word could be the exact same word. Everything has minute differences. No word would replace other word completely. That is one thing that you need to remember. Now comes a sure question for your TEE, that is word building. We all know that our English language terms keep on increasing day by day. There are new words coined as and when required, right? This is called neologism, that is the coining of new words. So how does this word building take place? This is through many methods. In your textbook or in your syllabus, there are two main methods mentioned, that is affixation and compounding. Alright, so these are two important areas that you should study. So affixation refers to the addition of prefixes and suffixes to the base word. So what do you mean by the term prefix? Prefix refers to something that we add before the root word, whereas suffix refers to something that we add towards the end of the base word. Alright, For example, consider this word disagree. This would be the prefix. Alright. So if it is disagreement, then ment would be the suffix to the word disagree. Am I making sense to you? Yes. On page number 34, there is a mention regarding the use of prefixes like IM, TIS, a multi, etc. So UN, uncommon, unable, IN, inconvenient, injustice, disadvantage, disagree, etc. You have there a lot of examples. Same with the case of suffixes as well. AGE, baggage, postage. Bag plus AGE is equal to baggage. Post plus AGE is equal to postage, etc. So you have very many suffixes also as examples. Now comes another way of word formation. It is called compounding. Alright. So compounding refers to the addition of two words. When two words are combined together, that would result in compounding. Compounds are made up of two or more parts which can also occur independently as words. Remember, these are also individual words. For example, blackboard. Black plus board is equal to blackboard. Both these words exist individually also. They are meaningful words. But they can also combine together to form something new. Do you follow me? Yes. Now comes the use of dictionary. Very often when you find a new word, do you actually these days refer to the dictionary? How many of you actually refer to the dictionary? I understand this is the era of technology. You would have your information at your own fingertip. You would just Google and find the meaning and everything. Yes, there are also online dictionaries available. But it would be great if you could actually have a dictionary, especially if you are students of literature. So your text also mentions the history of dictionaries. Some dictionaries like the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary gives the origins of words as well. Alright, moreover, dictionaries like Cambridge International Dictionary of English include picture dictionary. Isn't that interesting? Yes. There are also topic related vocabulary, encyclopedia, etc. Yes, so make sure that you read about this, not from an examination point of view, but just for your general understanding. So that sums up this particular unit titled Vocabulary Development. To sum up this unit, in this particular unit, we studied to differentiate between active and passive vocabulary. Remember, active vocabulary includes the words that you can appropriately make use of, especially when you say or write. All the rest of them would form part of your passive vocabulary, especially if you know that word but you can't actually use that in your sentences or words. Later we discussed content words and function words. We moved on to the difficulties in learning English vocabulary. There we discussed homonyms. These are one word, many meanings, whereas homographs refers to same form, different sound and meaning. Thereafter, we looked at homophones, same sound, different form and meaning. There is also hyponyms, which are word categories. We discussed idiomatic expressions, formal, informal expressions. Remember collocations. We discussed antonyms, synonyms, and finally we focused our attention towards two basic techniques of word buildings, which are the affixation and compounding. A quick mention on the use of a dictionary as well. So with that we come to this session. We'll deal with the remaining sessions in the upcoming classes.